Oh, sorry. Uh, Good morning.
Hello,
Hi. Can you hear me now?
can you hear me,
Yeah,
Victor?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. So we'll be looking at Agile project management today.
I I thought we'd be looking at the learning outcome 3 and 4 because I didn't come on Sunday.
Yeah, so the learning outcome 3 and 4 has been uploaded to Moodle. I'm sure like you got an email. So if you should check that email,
I
there's
must not
the
have seen it.
is it?
I must not have seen it. I'll have a look after the lecture.
No worries. So there's a record of it. So obviously, like if you're not present, I will still like go ahead and record the section for you so you can watch the section anytime.
Okay.
Yeah. So take for example, last week Sunday, you were not present, but I still have to take the class. So I still recorded the session. So if you don't mind checking your mail, and obviously like if you don't see it, check your spam folder or your junk folder. It should be in there.
All right.
And then you will see a link to YouTube. Or let me try to
I
paste
found it
it.
already. I found it on my email.
Okay, you found it.
Yeah, I found it.
All right then. So it's gonna take you to like a YouTube link. So just click here and then obviously watch it. And also if you check your module, it should be there.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the way it is so that you don't have to miss anything. So if you like you're not able to like attend the class, yeah, it will still be recorded for you to watch when you're free.
Okay.
All right then. So is there any other question?
Not at the moment now.
All right then, no worries. So let's get back to it then. So we'll be looking at learning outcome 5 today, which is be able to attain knowledge required to perform roles like Scrum, Master Product Owners, etc. Last week we looked at what Agile project management is. We looked at the definition of project management, and the role of project manager. So we'll be looking at the roles of Scrum Master today. So these are the indicative content. The first one is Scrum Master, second one leading change, facilitation, product owner, product backlog management, agile development, extreme programming. So the first thing we'll be looking at is what Scrum Master is. So um or what Scrum means. You understand? Like you have to know what Scrum is before you know what Scrum Master is. So Scrum is a framework used in agile project management, particularly for software development to help teams work together more effectively. So Scrum helps software teams or any other team to like be able to like work together more effectively. It is based on iterative and incremental process and involves breaking down complex projects into smaller tasks that can be completed within short time frames called sprint. So as usual, we have video. So obviously like the video like help you to like understand what Scrum Master is. But obviously like we can take a look at it after the class so that we don't waste time. So what are the key principles of the key principle of Scrum? This includes the first one is iterative development, second one is transparency, adaptation, self-organization, and collaboration. So what is iterative development? This means that projects are divided into smaller iterations or sprints. So obviously, like you'll be given a project, and then the project will be developed into like smaller parts or smaller iteration, and it can last for like 4 weeks, which can potentially be shippable product once it is produced or something like that. So transparency, the process and progress of work are visible to all stakeholders, promoting open communication and trust. So as like one of the key principles that like what you are working on should be visible to the stakeholders, and the stakeholders can be the end users that will probably use the product and all. Also, adaptation. Scrum embraces change and allows teams to adapt quickly to new requirements or feedback by continuously improving process. Self-organization. Teams are empowered to decide how to best accomplish their work without external inference, fostering ownership and accountability. And the last one, which is collaboration. Cross-functional teams work collaboratively to achieve common goals, with regular communication and collaboration being essential. So obviously, like with this, you'll be in a team. So collaboration is something that is a must, is a skill that you need to possess. And obviously, like effective communication is one of the best way to collaborate. So obviously, like asking
So
questions.
Scrum is essentially just another one of these business strategies of managing a business environment.
You said?
So Scrum is just one of the many types of ways of managing a business through a type of strategy.
Yes.
Like
So
how it's like how a business might use waterfall, or what's this thing called VUCA? The one that you learn in learning objective 3, the vocal or
yeah,
something.
the volatile or something complex and ambiguous.
So
Yeah.
they're all just types of strategies
Yes.
of how certain businesses use.
Yes. So basically, like if you meet yourself like in a team, like in agile environment, are you be able to like execute your task? Are you able to like perform your roles? Do you understand? So each business have different ways of how they use agile to execute tasks. So Scrum is one of them, and obviously like um you have to like know what the principles of Scrum is, so that you're able to like, when you meet yourself in that environment, you're able to like know what to do and all. Does that answer your question? Was that a question, or
It was a question, yes.
you said?
Yes, I just asked the question.
All right, no worries. Did I answer your question correctly though?
Yeah,
All right, no worries. Yeah. So the next topic is roles within a Scrum team. Obviously, like we have the Scrum Master, we have the product owner, and we have the developers. So the first one, which is the Scrum Master, they are responsible for ensuring the Scrum work is the framework is understood and followed. So obviously, like they are the ones that like facilitate meeting and remove obstacles. They communicate well with the stakeholders and everything. And when I say stakeholders, it can be like the end user, or it can be like the investor or something like that. And also the product owner represent the voice of the customer and stakeholders, and then defining and prioritizing the product backlog. So that's what the product owner does. So they make decisions about what is needs. What the product needs, and communicate the vision to the team. And the last one, the developers, they are responsible for like building the products, and obviously like organizing and making sure that the product is well functional, meaning they have all the skills necessary to complete the work within the sprint. So the developers collaborate closely with each other and with the product owner to deliver value to the customer. So the next thing we'll be looking at is the responsibility of a Scrum Master. As a Scrum Master, you must be able to lead change within the organization and also facilitate techniques for Scrum meetings. So the first one, what is leading change within the organization? So the Scrum Master serves as a change agent within the organization, promoting and facilitating the adoption of Agile and Scrum principles. They advocate for the Scrum framework, educate stakeholders, and help teams and individuals understand and embrace Agile practice. All these are self-explanatory and everything. And then they facilitate techniques for Scrum meetings. Obviously, like they must be able to like, they are responsible for like holding stand-ups and everything. So daily stand-ups. So stand-up, when you hear stand-up, it means like obviously like it can be like morning meeting, it can be afternoon meeting, that obviously like that you have in a team, whereby like each member of the team talk about like what they've done the previous day, what they'll be doing that day, and how they can progress, and obviously like if they have any shortcoming and everything. So that's what the stand-up is for. So it is used for like understanding what the team is lacking and how the team can progress. So they're also responsible for sprint planning, sprint review, sprint retrospective meetings. They ensure that these meetings are effective, focused, and productive by using facilitation techniques such as time boxing, active listening, and encouraging participation from all team members. Is there any questions so far before we move on?
No, I'm just trying to gather everything. You said the responsibility of the product owner.
Is it?
I was just trying to follow when you were talking about the responsibilities of the scrum master.
Yeah.
So could you repeat it again? I didn't quite hear you there.
Okay, so which part didn't you hear? Should I say everything again, or?
Yeah, just so I'm clear.
All right then. So the first one is leading change within the organization. So the responsibility of a scrum master. So they are responsible for like obviously like anything that has to do with like promoting and facilitating the adaptation of agile principle. And I think last week we looked at what agile principles are. So they are the ones, the scrum master are responsible for like leading change. So they advocate for the Scrum framework, they educate the stakeholders. So take, for example, if there's a new technology around that they may want to propose to the team, yeah, they can educate them about it. And obviously like they can educate the stakeholders on the product that they are working on, just in case the stakeholder doesn't understand what the team has been working on. And then facilitation techniques for Scrum meetings. So obviously, like within this Scrum frameworks, there's what they call daily stand-ups. So daily stand-up is like a meeting that every team have. So it can be like in the morning, it can be in the afternoon, it can be like anytime and all. So what they do in that meeting is that they talk about like the project. Each members of the team talk about like what they've been working on, how they can improve themselves. If they have any question or if they have any shortcomings of something that they don't understand, they ask everything in that stand-up. That's what the stand-up is for. And then there's sprint planning, sprint review, sprint retrospective meetings and everything. So that's like responsibility of the Scrum Master. And also they basically just ask questions and then they find a way to like make life easy for the team members. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes some sense.
All right, no worries. So moving on, responsibilities of a product owner. All this was in the last week Sunday slides. So I explained it more there, and obviously like we also have it here too. So basically the way it works is that like some topic can link to the other topic. So obviously like, you might see some repetition and everything. So but that's how the learning outcome is, so that you'll be able to like understand it and know. So we have product backlog management. So they are responsible for managing the product backlog, which is prioritized list of which is a prioritized list of all features, enhancements, and fixes that needs to be implemented. So they continuously refine and evolve the backlog, ensuring it reflects the most valuable and up-to-date items for the development team to work on. And also prioritizing techniques for the product backlog. So the product owner employs various techniques to prioritize items in the product backlog based on factors such as customer needs, business value, and market trends, and technical dependency. You understand? So obviously, like you have to make sure that, like, that as a product owner, you have to prioritize what the customer need. So you don't, so that if for example, right now you're building a software, and then the customer maybe needs a login page first, you have to prioritize that first, so that the development team don't go and design something else. Maybe they design like the homepage, meanwhile the customer said they needed the login page. So the product owner is responsible for like taking care of that. And they use techniques such as user story mapping, value-based prioritization, Moscow presentation, which is must have, should have, would have, and won't have. Moscow is used like it's basically used for like project and everything. So what must the project have? What should it have? What could it have? And what won't it have? You understand? And cost of delay analysis. So roles of developers in a Scrum team. So we have 3 there. And the first one is collaborative team members. Developers in Scrum team are collaborative team members who work to deliver valuable product increment. They bring diverse skills and expertise to the team and collaborate closely with each other to achieve sprint goals. So in a development team, there can be like the back end and the front end and the user designer. So the back end team can be responsible for like maybe like what is being saved into the database. The front end might be responsible for like how the website works on the browser, and the design team might be responsible for like obviously like designing the looks of it and all. So they must like they are collaborative teams. Each one of them work with each other and all. The second one is cross-functional. Developers are cross-functional, meaning they possess a variety of skills necessary to contribute to aspects of product development. This includes coding, testing, design, like I said, and any other task required to deliver a complete and high quality product increment.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, some part of the team are responsible for the coding, some are responsible for testing, some are responsible for design and everything. Yeah, so they do all that. The last one, self-organizing. Developers are self-organized. Developers are self-organizing, taking collective responsibility for planning their work, making decisions, and achieving sprint objectives. They organize themselves to determine how best to accomplish the task in each sprint, maximizing productivity and efficiency. Do you want me to like, obviously, like, maybe I should just like go through everything, and if you have any question at the end of it, we can talk about it. Does that make sense? Or you want to like ask question as we are going? Which one works for you?
I would like to ask questions as I'm going, but if I don't have any, no. I
All right.
will say right now is that I will not be able to attend tomorrow's lecture due to circumstances at work.
All right.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. Because lucky for you, there's always like record and everything. I'm still gonna be here tomorrow to do this, to do the same thing. Yeah, you understand? So instead of me talking to you, it's just me talking to my laptop and explaining it to you. I'm breaking it down to you. And obviously, like, you can go back and watch it. And if you have any question, just shoot it to the email, and they'll pass it on to me. And yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how, so basically, literally, you don't have to like attend. And if you're not going to attend, there's always a video for you to watch that you can catch up on.
I
Yeah.
will say is that with what I've been learning and understanding, I've been looking at some of the assignments, and from what I can tell, do you really need to specify about the origin of most of these strategies, like who invented them?
If that's what the assignment says, obviously, like if that's what the assignment says, yeah, I think that's what they should answer. But I don't know much about like,
Until the end, until we have it.
yeah, I don't know much about it. And obviously, like if it's assignment related, you have to shoot it to learners at ukversity.co.uk. I think they will
I
be
see.
more like they'll be able to like answer you better with that on how to
Yeah.
like, it's like there's a way you answer it, and there's an assignment discussion after all this learning outcome. The last class is assignment learning outcome. So maybe like we can talk about it then, and obviously like we can like look about like how you will answer questions and everything. Does that
Okay.
make sense to you?
Makes sense.
Yeah. So basically, just in summary, if you have any question regarding assignments, for now, you can shoot it to learnings at ukversity.co.uk, or you could obviously like wait to the assignment day, and then we can have a discussion about how it's going to work and everything. Yeah. So moving on, agile development practices. We have iterative development, we have continuous integration, and we have test-driven development. So the first one, which is iterative development, this agile development practices emphasize iterative and incremental development, where work is divided into small, manageable chunks and delivered in short frame known as sprint. This allows for quick feedback, adaptation, and continuous improvement. So if you are in a software development team and you like have a task, your role, the task will be broken down into each tiny bit, and then you as a member will be given a responsibility of what to do. So that's what the iterative development means by dividing it into small manageable chunks. So the continuous integration, developers practice continuous integration where code changes are frequent, integrated into a shared repository, and automatically tested, ensuring that the product remains stable and functional throughout the development process. So most developers these days, they have what we know as GitHub. Obviously, like I'm guessing you know what GitHub is. So each developers, they commit their changes to it, and then they can like check if there's a conflict in the work before they push it to production and everything. This enables them to like see the changes that have been made and if there's an error in what they've written. The last one, which is TDD, test-driven development. This is a practice where developers write automated tests before writing the corresponding code. This ensures that the code meets the specified requirements and maintains desired functionality, facilitating rapid development and reducing the likelihood of defects. You can also, if it's like there's something called unit testing and development. So you can Google what unit testing is. So it's a process where you test the smallest functional units of code. So this is one of the ways developers test their code and everything. Yeah. So introduction to extreme programming. Extreme programming is an agile software development methodology that emphasizes customer satisfaction, teamwork, and technical excellence. It includes practices such as pair programming, continuous integration, test-driven development, and frequent releases. Like I said, most software development teams these days, they use what we know as GitHub. I'm not sure. Do you have an idea of what GitHub means? Oh, yeah, you're not there. Well, yeah, so they use something called GitHub. So let me check this, for example. So this is someone's GitHub. So they can have like repositories, and then they can have like a package, which all developers. So these are the contributors. So there are loads of contributors that will build this package and everything. And then you as an external person, you can also like make changes to it, and obviously like then the owner will be able to like see the changes that you've made and obviously like put it among the
So with GitHub,
package.
you can use it as a way of sharing the code and collaborating
Yes,
with other
yes,
people.
exactly.
So that
Exactly.
way you're not working on your own and programming.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So
I see.
basically, yeah, so basically you can make a contribution to it. Each team can make a contribution to it.
It
And
sounds similar to a Wikipedia page, how it's not just one person making it.
yeah,
It can be
yeah.
a multiple amount of people.
Yeah, exactly. So so there's a final person that makes the final decision on what to push to production and everything. So maybe the lead software developer will look at every contributions that have been made, check it and test it if it works and everything, and then push it to production. That's what the extreme programming is all about. So we have product backlog. I think we discussed it previously. So this is a more detailed definition of what product backlog is. So the project backlog is a prioritized list of all desired work on the project maintained by the product owner. It represents the single source of requirements for any changes to be made to the product techniques, to the product. And then there's prioritizing techniques. So we have the user story mapping, value-based prioritization, cost of delay, risk-based prioritization. Well, so what is user story mapping? This technique involves visualizing, organizing user stories to understand the journeys through the product. It helps identify high priority features and dependencies. We can also Google what, we can also check what user, because I know, but obviously I want you to see it. User story mapping. Yeah, so there's this and everything. Yeah, so this one is like user story map mobile features for depositing checks. So the first thing you have to do is you check your account balance, you log in, you put your email and your password. I mean, like, sorry, my bad. Let me start again. So you want to check your account balance, right? So you log in, enter your username and password, and then you push the login button, and then you'll be able to like check your account balance. So that's what user story mapping literally entails and everything. It's like having like your Monzo app or your Revolut app, and the way they did it. So there's a story with the way that software was built. So it starts from like writing the login page, or maybe before you log in, you have to register and all. You put your email, you put your password, and then you're able to like see what you have in your account and everything. So that's what that is about. We also have value-based prioritization, prioritizing items based on their perceived value to the customer or business. This can involve techniques like Moscow prioritization or assigning business value to each item. So this is literally like prioritizing task on what customers feel like is more like important or what's valuable to them or not. The cost of the delay, assessing the cost associated with delaying the implementation of a particular feature. Items with higher cost of delay are prioritized higher. So if you want to like host a website, for example, you have to like look at the cost of servers. So you probably like put that first, and if you're like checking what cost of delay is. And risk-based prioritization, prioritizing items based on the level of risk associated with not implementing them. High-risk items are prioritized to mitigate potential negative impacts. I think that is self-explanatory enough. Like, obviously, like the high-risk item is prioritized than the low-risk ones. Refinement process. So what is the refinement process? This is also known as backlog grooming. Is the ongoing process of reviewing and refining items in the backlog to ensure that they are ready for sprint.
It's like the review process.
You said?
It's like the review process.
Yes, exactly. So you review it, and obviously like, and you check whether it is ready you check the product backlog if it is ready for sprint planning. So the activities in there is adding detail, estimation, reprioritization, and frequency. So if as you're reviewing it, you probably want to like add something to it. So that's where the adding detail is. The product owner add detail to backlog items, breaking them down into smaller, more manageable tasks or user stories, like we checked in that first one. Estimation, the team estimate the effort required to complete each backlog item, usually using story points or other estimation techniques. The reprioritization, the product owner may adjust the priority of backlog item based on changes in business needs, market condition, or feedback from stakeholders. So if a stakeholder or a user say that, oh yeah, they don't want, maybe they say that, oh yeah, they want the logo to be on the left hand side. And then maybe like after some weeks, they say, no, they don't want that anymore. So you have to reprioritize and make sure that, oh yeah, you fix where the logo is meant to be from left to right and all. Frequency, refinement is an ongoing activity that typically occurs throughout the sprint with dedicated refinement sessions, schedules as needed to ensure the backlog is ready for the next sprint planning meeting. So the next topic we'll be looking at is Agile development principles. So what is Agile development principle? I think we need to first of all understand what the Agile manifesto is. So Agile manifesto is a foundational document outlining the core values and principles of Agile software development. It was created by a group of software developers in 2001 to promote a more flexible and collaborative approach to software development. So what is Agile values and principles? The first one is individuals and interaction over process and tools. Agile values individuals and their interactions more than rigid process and tools. It emphasizes the importance of communication, collaboration, and teamwork among team members. So this is one of the reasons why some companies use what is called Jira. Jira is an agile software that you can use so you have the to-do in progress and everything. Each team member they will have what they're working on, and then once they check the to-do, they can move it to in progress, they can move it to the question and Q&A, and they can move it to done. So each member will see what the other team members have been working on. And also they will put comments on it to show that, oh yeah, we've made this progress and everything. And if they need anything, they can put it down there. So you have to be able to communicate, you have to be able to collaborate and teamwork among team members. Working software over compressive documentation. Agile prioritizes delivering working software that meets the customer needs over extensive documentation. It advocates for frequent releases of usable increments of the product. So you have to prioritize working software. The software needs to work and it needs to meet what the customer needs over extensive documentation. So if you write loads of documentation and the software is not working, what's the point? So the software needs to work. And customer collaboration over contract negotiation. Agile encourages close collaboration with customers and stakeholders throughout the development process. It emphasizes the importance of gathering feedback, adapting to changing requirements, and delivering value to the customer. Like I mentioned before, if the customer say they want the logo to be on the right instead of on the left, you can't say no and no. You just have to do what the customer needs and not just listen to what the customer wants, basically. Even if sometimes they might be wrong, but at the end of the day, you're working for them, and yeah, you have to do what they want. And if you feel oh yeah, you have a better solution, just ask the customer and speak to the customer. You shouldn't make a decision on behalf of the customer. Responding to change over following a plan. Agile embraces change and uncertainty, recognizing that customer needs and market conditions can evolve rapidly. It promotes flexibility, adaptability, and the ability to respond to feedback and changing priorities. Moving on, importance of customer collaboration. So we've been talking about customer collaboration all day. So what are the importance? Customer collaboration is essential in agile development because it ensures that the product meets the customer needs and delivers value. By collaborating closely with customers and stakeholders, number one, team gain a deep understanding of customer requirements and preferences. Feedback is gathered early and frequently, enabling rapid iteration and improvement. Like I said, you have to be able to communicate with the customer, listen to what they want, and do what they say that, oh yeah, they need. So if they say that they don't want the login page anymore, you have to do that. If they say that they want the software to start singing when they open it, you have to do that too. So, and the importance of it is that, oh yeah, the product can move on and you can finish it on time and all. Trust and transparency are fostered, leading to stronger relationships and increased customer satisfaction. Lastly, products are more likely to succeed in the market as they are aligned with customer needs and preferences. So a happy customer is a happy company. Building products attractively and incrementally.
There's a lot that goes into this stuff. If I had to give an example of something that's makes sense. It's like it's no different from any other project. It's not the software. Like it's the same thing that a producer does with a TV show or film
Yeah,
or something like that. There's a lot of areas of things. It's just that with software, there's a lot of interactivity onto it.
yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. I agree with you because at the end of the day, like take for example now, um, a plumber comes to a customer house and the customer said, "Oh yeah, the one days and all," and the plumber did rubbish and everything. The client or the customer will be pissed off, or a bricklayer or a constructor, the customer said they want this number of stories and everything, and they want the story building to be like this and that, and the constructor or the engineer was like, nah, he wants to do that, he wants to do this, wants to do that, or they ended up doing something else. The customer won't be happy. That's not a good customer satisfaction and everything. So it's not only just with software. There's loads of ways that you can use this example of customer collaboration in any project that you do. You have to be able to listen to what the customer needs and everything, and like communicate with them. If you don't understand what they say, just ask questions and everything. That's how like I said, that's how the products are likely to succeed as they align with the customer needs and preferences. Building products iteratively and incrementally. Benefits of iterative development. First of all, the early feedback, reduced risks, flexibility, faster time to market. The early feedback, obviously, like the name says, you get like feedback early in the process and everything. So iterative development allows for the early release of working prototypes or versions of the product. This facilitates gathering feedback from stakeholders and end users, enabling the team to make necessary adjustment and improvement throughout the development process. So as you're working on it, so if you've developed something for the customer or the stakeholder, you show it to them, and then they look at it and they'll be like, oh yeah, this is good, this is okay. And then if there's an adjustment, you make an adjustment to it, and then you move on. Not that you will wait until you are done building the project and you now go and ask the customer what they want, or like if they're happy with what you've done so far, there might be changes that they will need, and you've spent months on it. So yeah, you have to ask for early feedback and also reduce risk by breaking down the project into smaller iterations, each with its own set of deliverables. The team can manage risk more effectively. Potential issues are identified and addressed early. Like I think like I showed you this, because they broke it down and everything, there might be reduction in risk. And if there's someone in the team that's not doing what they're meant to do, you can know with this system, and the designer or the person can get sacked by that, because obviously they're not like doing what they're meant to do. And or if they're spending too much time on it, you as the team lead, you can assist them by giving them tips also. Yeah. The second one, flexibility. Iterative development allows for greater flexibility in responding to changes in requirements, market conditions, or technological advancements. Teams can adapt and pivot more easily, ensuring that the product remains relevant and competitive. Faster time to market. By delivering incremental updates of features regularly, the team can bring value to customers sooner. So I'm guessing you use a smartphone. So um each month or each days or each weeks or each hour, you receive updates on your app. Take for example, like your WhatsApp, for example, there's always an update for on WhatsApp, or there's always an update for your iPhone or your Android. This is to make sure that, oh yeah, you have the latest feature and your phone is being patched for security reasons and everything. So the team that is responsible must be able to like deliver it to you on time, and so that they can bring value to you. So this accelerates time to market and allows organization to capitalize on market opportunities more quickly. Incremental approach delivery. So we looked at iterative. Now this is the incremental one. Incremental app delivery involves breaking down the project into small functional increments that can be delivered and tested independently. Each increment adds new features or enhancements to the product, building upon the previous ones. So what are the benefits? Early value delivery to customer, reduce time and cost of delivery, increase visibility and transparency into project progress, flexibility to adjust priorities based on changing requirements or feedback. We still have another topic to cover, so I don't want to waste time on this. Yeah, this is the last one. Continuous feedback loops. Continuous feedback loops are integral to iterative and incremental development process. They involve gathering feedback from stakeholders, end users, and team members throughout the development lifecycle and using it to inform decision-making and improvement. Continuous feedback loops enable early detection of issues or discrepancies, validation of assumption and decision, and identification of opportunities for improvement, and elements of the product with the customer needs and expectation. And then, yeah, so these are the references, and any question, you can send it to learnerwork@ukversity.co.uk. I know. So that brings to the end of our learning outcome 5. Are you still there? Okay. Moving on to learning outcome 6. I think we should take a minute break. And before we continue this. Hi, Joshua, are you still there?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I was saying that we should take a minute's break before we move to the.
All right.
Yeah, we finished learning outcome 5, so we are going to learning outcome 6 now.
Okay, this is the Kanban. I've seen these in types of organization organized software.
Yeah,
The Kanban view.
is that?
Kanban view. Is used to organize your projects.
Yeah.
Kanban board.
So you have the backlog, you have the doing, you have the review, and you have the done. So from the backlog, you can move it to like you're working on it, and the review team can review it and then done. I think it's literally the same thing as the Jira and all. So yeah. Let me give me a second. I'll continue. Yeah. So obviously, like, because this ends by 11, it's possible I skip some and everything. So that I don't have to like bore you or waste your time or not. Yeah. So Agile project management, the learning outcome 6, be able to understand and leverage Kanban to optimize the flow of value. So the indicative content, visual work in progress, optimizing flow of value, whole systems. This is the key terminology. What is Kanban? I think you've usually just said what it is. So it's a visual management method used to visualize work, limit work in progress, which is WIP, and optimize the flow of work through the value stream. The word Kanban is Japanese for visual signal or card. In the context of software development and project management, Kanban uses visual cues such as cards on a board to represent work items and their status, allowing teams to visualize and manage their workflow and more effectively. So this is the origin of Kanban and everything. So it originated in the manufacturing industry in Japan, particularly in Toyota Production System, TPS, where it was used as scheduling system to control the flow of materials and production process. Yeah, among other things. The principles of Kanban were later adapted and applied to knowledge work and software development by David J. Anderson in the early 2000s. Anderson introduced the concept of Kanban for knowledge work as a method to manage and improve the flow of work in software development, IT operations, and other knowledge-intensive domains. There's also a video for us to watch. Yeah, so we check that out later. So the key principles of Kanban. The first one is visualize the workflow. The second one is limit work in progress, manage flow, make process policies explicit, improve collaboratively. So the first one, visualize the workflow. Kanban visualize the workflow using Kanban board, which typically consists of columns representing different stages of workflow. Like we see here. So there's a backlog, doing, review, and done. So e.g., to do in progress, done. Work items are represented as cards or sticky notes that move through the workflow from left to right as they progress. So that's what the Kanban board is. There's limit work in progress. Kanban limits the amount of work that can be in progress at any given time to prevent overloading the system and optimize workflow. Setting with limits helps identify bottlenecks, reduce multitasking, and improve overall efficiency, so that you don't have loads of stuff on doing and everything. Like everybody will just move from backlog to doing. So there should be like a limit in work in progress. Manage flow. Kanban focuses on managing and optimizing the flow of work through the value stream. Teams continuously monitor and measure flow metrics such as lead time, cycle time, and throughput to identify opportunities for improvements and make data-driven decisions. Make process policies explicit. Kanban makes process policies explicit by defining rules and guidelines for how work should flow through the system. Clear and transparent policies help ensure consistency, reduce variability, and facilitate collaboration within the team. And the last one, improve collaboratively. Kanban encourage continuous improvement through collaboration and feedback. Teams regularly review and reflect on their process, identify areas for improvement, and experiment with changes to optimize workflow and deliver more value more effectively. So, like we have here, so if someone is doing something like on here, like this is the doing stage, and then they have a question, they can literally just like put it here, and then they can ask the question and everything. And once they're done with it, they can move it to reviews. They will review it and then have a discussion with what they've done. And if, oh yeah, it doesn't meet the requirement, they move it back to doing, and the person responsible for doing it will go back to it and make the adjustment before they move it to review again. They review it and then they move it to done. So that's the flow, and that's how it works. Overview of Kanban system. Kanban systems are visual management tools used to optimize the flow of work and improve efficiency in various domains, including software development, manufacturing, and service delivery. Originating from the Toyota Production System, Kanban system provide a visual representation of work, limiting work in progress, facilitates continuous improvement through feedback and collaboration. Components of Kanban system. First of all, we have Kanban board, we have Kanban cards, we have whip limit, we have visual signals, we have metrics and analytics. The first one, which is Kanban board. So like we've seen before, is a visual representation of workflow typically divided into columns representing different stages and so on. And then the cards, physical or virtual cards that represent individual work items or tasks So these are the things that that can be moved and everything. Each card contains relevant information such as task description, priority, assignee, and the due date. So on here, you can see, let me move it to, yeah, move it here. On here, you can see a card. So in this card, there'll be the task, what the task is about, the due date, and the person that's responsible for doing the task and everything on this card. Yeah. We have the WIP limit placed on the number of work items allowed in each stage of the workflow. WIP limits help prevent overloading the system, reduce multitasking, and identify bottlenecks. So we can have a limit of doing. You can have a limit of 5 doing at a time, or you can have a limit of 5 reviews so that they don't overload it, so that there won't be like loads of bottlenecks and everything. Visual signals, visual cues such as colors, icons, or markers used to convey information about the status, priority, or type of work, like we saw here. So there's, I don't know if it is red because I'm a little bit colorblind. I don't know if it is red. I know this is yellow. This should be green, and this is blue. So blue is the done. Yellow is like they're still like working on it. Green is ready, and red is wait. So in reviews, like they're obviously ready to move it to done. And if it doesn't go from ready, it can go back to doing, which is the amber, wait, and so you can like have colors and everything to like to visualize what it conveys and everything. Visual signals help team members quickly understand the current state of the workflow and make informed decisions. Metrics and analytics, measures and metrics used to monitor and analyze the performance of the Kanban system, such as lead time, cycle time, throughput, and WIP levels. Metrics provide valuable insight to workflow efficiencies, bottlenecks, and opportunities for improvement. So how Kanban optimize flow of value? The first one is visual management. Kanban provides a clear and visual representation of the workflow, making it easy to identify bottlenecks, visualize work dependency, and monitor progress in real life. Limits work in progress. By setting WIP limits, Kanban prevents overloading systems, blah, 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 blah. We've spoken about it here. And WIP limits help balance workflow, reduce context switching, and improve overall efficiency. Continuous improvement. Kanban fosters a culture of continuous improvement by encouraging collaboration, feedback, and experimentation. Teams regularly review and reflect on their process, identify areas of improvement, and implement changes to optimize workflow and deliver deliver value more efficiently. Like I said here, obviously, like with the doing, if you move it to the reviewing and the person reviewing it feels like, oh yeah, there's something like you have to like add to it, they can then move it back to like to doing, which limits, we can limit like the numbers of people that have doing that have like review at the time or something like that. And obviously like you can improve on it. So if you move your products from review into doing, you have time to like work on the changes that the review team specified or they mentioned and all, and then you take the feedback and then you work on the feedback. Adaptability. Kanban is inherently flexible and adaptable, allowing teams to respond quickly to changes in priorities, requirement of market conditions. Teams can easily adjust WIP limits, modify process policies, and experiment with new approaches to optimize workflow and deliver value more efficiently. The second one, the next topic, which is visualizing work in progress. Importance of visualizing work in progress. Visualizing work in progress is essential for effective workflow management and collaboration within the teams. It provides clarity, transparency, and alignment, enabling teams members to understand the current state of work and make informed decisions. Visualizing work helps identify bottlenecks, dependency areas of improvement. It facilitates communications, reduces ambiguity, and fosters a shared understanding of priorities and goals among team members. So yeah, Kanban boards as visual management tools. Kanban boards are visual management tools used to visualize and manage the flow of work through a process. They provide a clear, intuitive, and real-time representation of the workflow, making it easier for teams to track progress, identify issues, and optimize efficiency. So as you're moving it, you can like, the team member can like identify the issue of like if you're given a task and everything, as like moving it from doing to ready, each respective teams can like identify the issues with what you worked on and not, and they can track the line manager can track the progress and everything. So if someone is not doing their work, the line manager would definitely know. Kanban boards typically consist of columns representing different stages of the workflow, e.g., to do, in progress, done, and cards representing individual work items. Card moves through the columns as they progress through the workflow, providing a visual indication of the status of each task. Examples of Kanban board layout. The basic Kanban board, we have columns to do, in progress, done, cards, which represent individual tasks or work items. Example software development tasks, which cards representing user stories of features. The next one is expanded Kanban board. So there's additional columns, which is backlog, ready for review, testing, blocked. Cards include more detailed information such as assigning, priority, and due date. So it's literally the same thing as what we have here and everything. There can be more on here. So example is marketing campaign management with card representing campaign stages and tasks. We have team-specific Kanban board, customize columns and card types based on team or project requirements, additional features, swim lanes, labels, tags, or color coding for categorization. The example of that is IT operations with columns for incident management, service request, and change request. Portfolio Kanban board. We have multiple board linked together to visualize work across multiple projects or teams. Excuse me. Hierarchical structure. Boards for different project teams or departments. Example, project portfolio management with boards for individual projects and a portfolio board for high-level overview and coordination. So the next one is optimizing flow of value. Understanding flow in Kanban. Flow in Kanban refers to the smooth and uninterrupted movement of work items through the value streams from iteration to delivery. It represents the speed, efficiency, and predictability with which work progresses through the workflow. So the flow of moving from backlog to doing, and then from doing to review, and then from review to done. That's what the optimizing flow of value. Optimizing flow of value is. Kanban aims to optimize flow of value by minimizing delay, reducing cycle times, and maximizing throughput by visualizing the workflow, limiting work in progress, and continuously monitoring and improving performances. Teams can achieve a state of optimal flow. Techniques for optimizing workflow: WIP limits, implementing work in progress limits, preventing overloading the system, and encouraging a steady and balanced flow of limits. So you have to like limit the work in progress. You have to like limit, like it's literally like limiting what each team can like have on each section of the Kanban board and everything. So by limiting the amount of work in progress, teams can reduce multitasking, minimizing context switching, and improve overall efficiency. The next one, swim lanes. Swim lanes provide additional segmentation or categorizing within the Kanban board, allowing teams to visualize different types of work or prioritize tasks based on criteria such as urgency, priority, or work type. Swim lanes help maintain focus, manage dependency, and optimize flow within and across teams. Cycle time analysis. Analyzing cycle time. the time it takes for a work item to move from start to finish. So that time, obviously, like that's what the cycle time is. This helps identify bottlenecks, inefficiencies, and opportunities for improvement. By tracking and analyzing cycle time metrics, teams can identify trends, measure performance, and make data-driven decisions. So obviously, like measure performance, you can measure like if someone is working, doing what they're supposed to do or not, or they're taking time in the task that they've been given to. Continuous improvement. Kanban emphasizes a culture of continuous improvement, where teams regularly reflect on their process, identify areas for optimization, and implementing changes to improve flow. By soliciting feedback, experimenting with new approaches, and embracing a mindset of Kaizen continuous improvement, teams can iteratively refine and optimize their workflows to deliver value more efficiently. So how do we identify and eliminate bottlenecks? We've been talking about this since the beginning. How do we identify them and obviously like get rid of bottlenecks? The first thing is that bottlenecks are points in workflow where the flow of work is restricted. So that means like it's not moving at all and there's delays and inefficiencies. Techniques for identifying it includes monitoring the work in progress levels and cycle times to identify areas of congestion, using cumulative flow diagrams to visualize work in progress and identify bottlenecks, conducting root cause analysis to understand the underlying cause of bottlenecks, and implementing targeted intervention to address them, experimenting with process changes such as reallocating resources, adjusting work limits, and redesigning workflow. So if there's a team member that's causing a delay, the line manager can like take the workflow and give it to another team member just to make sure that, oh yeah, the work progress and meet the deadline and everything. This definitely helps and improve the flow. So we also have pull systems. This is the introduction to pull systems. So what is pull systems? These are lean manufacturing concepts used to control the flow of work by allowing downstream process to pull work from upstream process based on actual demand. So in a pull system, work is initiated and completed based on customer demand, ensuring that product is driven by actual consumption rather than forecasted requirements. So the work is completed based on what the customer demanded and all. So we have different types of systems. You have the push and the pull system. So what is push system? Work is pushed downstream based on production schedules, forecasts, or predetermined plans. Production is driven by supply side considerations such as capacity utilization or inventory targets, results in overproduction, excess inventory, and mismatches between supply and demand. The pull system, work is pulled downstream based on actual customer demand or consumption. Production is driven by demand side consideration, which work initiated only when needed by downstream process or customers. Promotes a more responsive, efficient, and customer-centric approach to production. Benefit of implementing pull systems in Kanban, and I think we have others, and you also just bear with me. Reduce waste, improve flow, enhance flexibility, increased transparency, continuous improvements. Yeah, so what is reduce waste? Pull system help minimize waste by producing only what is needed when it is needed based on actual demand. What is improved flow? Pull system optimized by aligning production with demand, ensuring a smooth and uninterrupted flow of work throughout the value stream. The enhanced flexibility. Pull system provides greater flexibility and adaptability to changes in demand or priorities. Increased transparency. Pull system promotes transparency by making work status and prioritize visible to all stakeholders. The continuous improvement. Pull system foster a culture of continuous improvement by encouraging teams to regularly review and reflect on their process. Common challenges in adopting Kanban. Obviously, like there's always the disadvantage and everything. So what are the challenges in adopting Kanban? Resistance to change. Some team members may resist adopting Kanban due to fear of change, uncertainty about the process, or skepticism about the benefits of Kanban. Lack of understanding. Some people don't publicly don't understand the principle. They usually don't understand what Kanban is on how to like implement it or not. So this can hinder the successful implementation. Ineffective visualization. So very poorly designed Kanban boards or inadequate visualization of what can lead to confusion, inefficiencies, and suboptimal workflow management. So take for example, right now, you have the view here, or maybe you have done here, and you have doing as last. That doesn't make any sense. So the person working on the Kanban board might be confused or not. So that's a big challenge and everything. So you have to make sure that your Kanban board is well like structured. The columns is clear and defined. Overcoming cultural barriers. Organizational cultures, attitudes, and behaviors may pose challenges to implementing Kanban, especially in traditional or hierarchical environments. Strategies for overcoming resistance to change. So obviously, like these are the challenge. How do we overcome challenge? Education and training. So you have to be able to like educate your workers and everything. You need to like know the benefits and how to like use Kanban. You have to offer workshops and seminars and online resources and communication and engagement. So there needs to be like open communication and active engagement with team members. So as you are educating them, you have to be able to like communicate and you have to like able to like explain, excuse me, the different process and everything, and obviously like take feedback. Pilot project. Start with small projects to demonstrate benefits of Kanban in a controlled environment. And you gather feedback, you measure performance, and you showcase successful outcomes. The last one, which is change management. Implement effective change management practices to facilitate smooth transitions and minimize disruptions. Addressing cultural barriers in Kanban. Give me a second. Yeah, addressing cultural barriers in Kanban implementation. We have leadership support, gain buy-in and support from organization leaders and key stakeholders to create a culture of openness, collaboration, and continuous improvement. Leaders should champion the adoption of Kanban and lead by example in embracing changes and innovation. The empowerment and autonomy. You have to empower teams to take ownership of their work and make decisions autonomously within the framework of Kanban. You have to encourage autonomy, accountability, and self-organization to foster a culture of trust and empowerment. Celebrating success, you have to obviously recognize success, milestone, and achievement in Kanban implementation. So if a team was able to complete a project, you have to celebrate that. I don't know, because that's a success, that's a milestone and everything. Continuous learning and improvement. You have to promote culture of learning, continuous learning and continuous improvement by encouraging feedback and reflection. Tips and recommendation for successful Kanban implementation. You have to be able to start small, obviously, like by having a pilot project and small tests to define a Kanban process practice by scaling up to larger initiative. Visualize work, design clear and intuitive Kanban boards. Limit work in progress. Like we said, have a limit on what each section can have so that you don't have bottlenecks and everything. Manage flow. You have to be able to monitor flow metrics such as cycle time and lead time. Encourage collaboration. You have to be able to foster collaboration and communicate among teams. Embrace feedback, take feedback, and obviously work on the feedback that you've been given from the stakeholders, end users, and team members. So what is the lesson learned from experienced Kanban practitioners? The first one is iterative approach. Embrace an iterative approach to Canva implementation continuously. Refine process and practices based on feedback and lessons learned. Adaptability. Be flexible and adaptable to changes in requirements, priorities, and market conditions. Focus on flow. Prioritize optimizing flow throughout the value stream from initiation to delivery to maximize efficiency and deliver value more efficiently. A cultural alignment. Ensure alignment between Kanban practices and organization cultural values and goals. Involve stakeholders in the process and address cultural barriers to adoption. So the last one, which is, continuous improvement strategies for evolving Kanban practices. The Kaizen mindset. Foster a culture of continuous improvement by encouraging experimentation, learning, and adaptation. Embrace the mindset of Kaizen, continuous improvement. So you have to continuously improve. And how do you do this? By learning and by adapting. Retrospectives. Conducts regular retrospective to reflect on past performance, identify areas of improvement, implement actionable changes to enhance effectiveness. Experimentation. Encourage teams to experiment with new practices, tools, and techniques to optimize workflow and achieve better outcomes. The last one, which is community of practice. Establish a community of practice or learning network where practitioners can share experiences, best practices, and lessons. And so that brings conclusion to our learning outcome 5 and 6 today. But because of our time, I don't think we have time to watch these 2 videos or not. So if you have any questions, shoot.
Yeah, that was a lot to take in.
Yeah.
It's like I kind of get the vague understanding about everything you just said. Because it's just like it's no different from what you see in terms of how they run projects and maybe in those documentaries or things like that. But this is like it's all the terms and words that they use that express it all.
Yeah.
I don't think I would truly grasp everything until I know the assignments to put them into practice. But I don't have any questions for today.
Right, no worries.
Like I said before, I won't be here tomorrow,
Yeah.
but I think that we'll be doing the assignment briefing by next weekend.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's when the assignments truly start.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, I just want to know, even though you say it's a month, so that would mean that I have to get it wrapped up by maybe April 28th or something
Yeah.
for that date.
Yeah. So
What I want to know is that could I still, add time, like extend it maybe 2 weeks or more if I can't, because I'll
yeah.
be a bit busy going
Yeah.
forward with work and everything.
Yeah. So basically, all this discussion needs to be asked to the school and all. So if you need an extension and everything, just send an email to the school. But with regarding what you said previously, with everything big to take in, you can always go back because there's a record and everything. You can always go back and watch the recording again. That's why we record them, so that obviously you can refer back to them. Do you understand?
I see.
Yeah. So you can always go back to it. So if there's something that you feel oh yeah, it's you don't understand or you need more further breakdown and everything, you can go back to it and watch the recording again. And also, yeah, regarding the extension, you have to send an email to the school, and then I'm pretty sure that they'll be able to help you with that.
Okay.
Yeah. Does that answer your question? Right, though?
Yeah, that answers my question.
No worries.